Hi again, everyone. In this demo, we're going to do the rolled hem. You also might know this hem by, some people call it the baby hem. All right, and this is a great hem to use on things like chiffon or silk organza. It's a very small little hem. Okay, so we're going to hem this piece of fabric right here. I have the right side, which has the lines, and the wrong side that doesn't have anything on it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started, and let's go to the sewing machine and start hemming this. Okay, we're at the machine. All right, the first thing we want to do is flip this over so it's the wrong side. Okay, and we're going to fold back whatever seam allowance we have. So say I have a 1/2 inch seam allowance, I'm just going to fold that back to the wrong side, a 1/2 inch. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to stitch very, very closely to this edge right here. I want to stitch about a 1/16 of an inch away from the crease that this is making from where I folded it over. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. And just gently roll back that 1/2 inch as you go. And make sure that you're stitching right on that edge. And if you go off, you need to go back and re-stitch it. You need to have all your stitches there. It's very important for the next step in this that we have all the stitches and that they're about a 1/16 of an inch away from the edge. All right. The closer they are to the edge, the smaller the hem can be. If you stitch like an 1/8 away from the edge or more, then it's going to be a larger hem and you won't get that nice little rolled hem like we want. Okay, there we go. Alright, so there you can see I've stitched nice and close. Let me give you a better view here. Alright, so you can see I've stitched nice and close to that edge, right, about a 1/16 of an inch away. Now what we want to do is trim away this extra fabric. Okay, we want to trim away so that we're leaving only about a 1/16 of an inch of fabric after the stitching I just did. Okay, we don't want to do less than a 1/16 because then there's too little fabric and it starts to disintegrate and your stitches will come out. All right, so let's go ahead and trim that back. The key is to get up there nice and close. Slide your scissors in. I like to do it so that the bottom of my scissors come right up against those stitches. And I can stitch it and I can get in nice and close and do a nice clean cut. And I kind of just use my pointer finger and my thumb to kind of hold that straight where I'm stitching, to hold that hem straight or the fabric straight. And it makes it a little easier to get in there and trim. Okay, we're almost there. There we go. All right. So I've trimmed this off, and there's only a 1/16 left. Let me give you a closer view now. You can see there's only barely a 1/16 of an inch left of fabric. All right. Again, make sure it's trimmed very nice and close. Okay, we can't have any extra fabric kind of coming up or anything. Make sure it's nice and clean, or we won't be able to turn this over, okay, like we need to, and get a nice small hem like that. All right, so that's the next step. Now we're going to come back here to this end, and we're going to fold over that fabric, and I'm going to put a pin in here just to hold it in place. Okay, when we fold this over, we want to make sure it's nice and close to the edge here. We don't want it folded like this. Okay, that's a big hem right there for what we're doing. We want this to be really close to the edge. We want just like barely an 1/8 of an inch. I'm just going to put a pin in here to get started. Okay, I like to put a pin in like that at the end all right, because this likes to roll back on you. So I put a pin in, and then once I get my needle down into here, I'll take this pin down. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this under the machine. I like to leave threads on the end because this is so small. A lot of times when you put the needle into it, it will kind of push it down into the hole that the needle goes into. So I leave long threads on the end so I can kind of pull it through at the beginning. All right, here we go. Let's put our needle down here. Catch right in there, right in the center of that seam. So basically what we're going to do is stitch right over our stitches that we already have there. Okay. Now my needle's down, I can pull my pin out. All right, and I'm going to take a couple stitches here forward and then back tack. I'm going to grab these threads so I can kind of pull it through these first few stitches because it's going to want to kind of escape, or it might get pushed down into that hole. Fold that over. All right, here we go. And I'll back tack. There we go. All right. So what I'm going to do is kind of roll this as it goes. I'm going to make sure it's pushed nice and close to the edge here. I'm kind of folding it back with this hand right here, and I'm making sure it's nice and close to the edge. And I like to leave long threads at the end here like this, okay? Because again, I can hold them as I back tack and it doesn't get sucked down into the hole. Gives me a little more control. There we go. All right. So now you can kind of see it up close, how small that is. And then if I flip it around to the right side, you just see this small row of stitching towards the bottom. Okay, let's go give this a press and then we'll be done. Okay, let's give this a quick press from the wrong side. There we go. Sometimes it kind of lettuces on you, so giving it a press will flatten it back out. Okay, there it is. So there it is right there. It's probably very difficult to see. This is the wrong side of it. And so basically I've turned it back twice and stitched it. And then here's the right side. And all you can really see is this row of stitching right here at the bottom. Okay, and again, you would use thread that matches and it would blend right in with your fabric. Okay, so this is again a great hem for fabrics like chiffon, silk organza, things like that. Okay, all right, so rolled hem.